Gators. Mike Cherry joins us with our top story.
Stacy, the Warriors had an overwhelming task at hand today, trying to become the first team to earn a season-opening win in the Swamp since 1989. Hawaii also debuted their new uniforms and the ha'a before the game, and when they took the field, UH actually kept things tight early on. Quarterback Greg Alexander and the Warriors' running game controlled the clock, and Hawaii's defense held Florida to a scoreless first quarter. But Hawaii's fortune changed in the second quarter. Tim Tebow and company began to click like last year's team, who averaged more than 42 points per game, pretty much doing whatever they wanted at will. The Gators would rack up 255 yards on the ground and more than 400 yards total. They also forced 6 turnovers, 4 of which were interceptions, and scored 8 touchdowns in the second and third frames combined. Hawaii would score in the fourth, but it was way too late. Florida wins 56-10. Now, coming up later in sports, we'll have a more in-depth recap of the game, plus a pair of former Warriors received their pink slip in the NFL. Mike Cherry, KGB 9 News.
Thanks, Mike. And back here at home, Warrior fans were up bright and early this morning to watch the game. Even when their team was down 56-0, loyal fans stuck around at Murphy's Bar and Grill and continued to cheer them on.
Oh, it was great. We had a couple hundred people in here. Right at 6:30, it was packed. It was just terrific. And after halftime, it started to thin out a little bit.
It's a learning experience. This raises the bar, the level of where you've got to go, and it shows you what you're going to have to do well this season. So hopefully they'll learn from this outcome.
Fans we spoke to still say they're very excited about this season and say they're glad that we had the opportunity to play a top 5 team like Florida.
Going, everybody. The Warrior football team's trip to Florida was spread out over a few days and covered more than 4,700 miles. The trip home from Gainesville will take just a day, but will feel like an eternity for a team that became just the latest season-opening victim to the Florida Gators. Coach Mack making his debut in a place where many a foe has been Gator bit, but it wasn't all bad when the game started. The Warriors debuted their new offense and uniforms. Hawaii actually outran Florida in the first. Leon Wright-Jackson and Daniel Libre combined for 37 yards to 31 for Florida. But in the second quarter, Florida's talent took over. The Gators secondary picked off Greg Alexander twice in the first half. Sophomore Major Wright returned the second to the land of 6, and Florida led 14-0. Hawaii's D did what it could to contain Tim Tebow. Adam Leonard picking up his first sack of the year here. The Heisman winners line, 137 yards and 1 score in the air and 37 yards rushing. Still in the second, Chris Rainey proving that speed does kill. Florida scored 4 times in the second quarter alone. In the third, Brent Roush making his debut, but it didn't last very long. He tosses one of Hawaii's 4 interceptions on the day. Hawaii gave up the ball 6 times. Kahuku grad Inoki Funaki would get some cleanup time in the third and fourth quarter, and here is something to hang your hat on. He finds Greg Salas from 13 yards away and leads UH on their only scoring drives of the game. 56-10 is the final. It's the biggest season opening loss for the Warriors since June Jones' first game as Hawaii's head coach. That was a 62-7 loss to USC. Next up for the Warriors, Weber State next Saturday at Aloha Stadium. And here is a quick peek at how the rest of the WAC did in today's games. In the NFL, wide receiver Ashley Lilly was let go by the 49ers today. The Radford grad was a #1 overall pick by the Broncos in 2002. Also, former UH running back Reagan Mauia was cut by the Dolphins. NFL teams had to trim 53 today. He picked up his first gold medal, and he had his face put on a Wheaties box. It's been a pretty good couple of weeks for Castle grad Brian Clay, and while that may seem like a full slate, Clay only has a couple of days left to relax before he goes back to the track.
Greg McMackin era of Warrior football has begun. 21st head coach in Hawaii history made his debut today on the road against 5th-ranked Florida, and the UH defense looked strong early, holding Florida scoreless into the second quarter, but that's when things got ugly. Junior college transfer quarterback Greg Alexander, 2 interceptions and a fumble in 3 consecutive drives, including a pick taken back by Major Wright, 32 yards for a touchdown. Gators took advantage, going up 14-0 and began to run away. Junior running back Brandon James James' 74-yard punt return for touchdown. Gators took a 28-0 lead into the break. How's it going, everybody? One of the huge question marks for this Hawaii team heading into 2008 was who will replace Heisman Trophy finalist Colt Brennan at quarterback. After today, the question remains to be unanswered, but late in the game, we saw a Kahuku boy fight to take it. We'll pick it back up in the third quarter. UH now trailing 35-0 when reigning Heisman Trophy winner Tim Tebow connected with Lewis Murphy on a 48-yard touchdown. Tebow in just over 3 quarters of play, 9 of 14 for 137 yards passing and 1 score. Gators would later extend their lead to 42. Alexander sent to the sideline. In came sophomore Brent Roush, who got picked for 6. Ahmad Black's second interception of the game, this time taking 80 yards to the house of hugs and high fives. Warrior offense with 5 turnovers on the day, coming up with only 241 yards of total offense. Kahuku grad Inoke Funaki also got into the game and produced Hawaii's only bright spot on offense. Inoke extremely accurate on the move today, avoiding the Florida pass rush, orchestrating Hawaii's first touchdown drive of the season. Came in the fourth quarter, 13-yard strike to senior wideout Greg Salas. Funaki 8 of 11, 110 yards passing, but obviously this day belongs to the Gators. 56-10 the final. Warriors, who have won 22 of their last 25 games, now losers in 2 straight to SEC schools by a total of 97-20. Defensive end David Vicune led the defense with 6 tackles. Up next for UH, home opener next Saturday against Weber's. National Football League cuts made today with rosters needing to be chopped down to 53. Big names to go. Ashley Lalee, Reagan Mauia, Danu Peressa, Melila Purcell, and Keenan Forney. Rookies Devon Best in Miami and Colt Brennan in Washington, both on the opening day rosters.
It's a start, just not the kind of start Hawaii fans were hoping for. The UH Warriors kicked off the 2008 season against 5th-ranked Florida this morning at the place Gator fans affectionately refer to as the Swamp in Gainesville. Warriors fired up for a new season. It was a scoreless first quarter, but things started to unravel in the second quarter. Greg Alexander, named the Warriors starting quarterback, he would love to take this back. A major mistake. Major Wright intercepts the pass. 32 yards later, it was 14-0 Florida. Now, Brandon James back to field the punt, heads to the right, picks up some blocking, and he's off and running. 74 yards for the touchdown. Gators chomped the Warriors 56-10. But die-hard Hawaii fans showed their support, getting an early start this morning. Breanne Randall has more.
UH football fans aren't like any other.
We're going to have the greatest UH comeback right here. That's the ball! Go! Yeah.
These fans have the Warrior fever, holding tight to the memory of last year's super season.
Here to support the team. I'm a UH alumni, so no matter what.
And they didn't mind getting this year's party started early.
If we have to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, we'll still be here. Win or lose, We gotta believe. We gotta believe.
Order!
Probably got maybe over 150 people here or so. It's our first time doing football season, so we're getting kind of slammed.
On the field, so were the Warriors.
It's kind of tough to see them getting their butt kicked like this, you know. But well, it's okay though, you know. Been through some bad seasons like that 0-12 season, so this can't be any better than that.
With Hawaii down, fried rice, eggs, and some brews helped to ease a few wounds.
As Jai said, we got our food, so we scored.
After tossing some back, a few fans got a chance to vent it out.
I think they got some issues with their special teams, and they are not tackling. I know what's not working, and that wasn't working.
I think they should have bring in Gronky. Gronky would have been the man. I know he can't make the grade, but he can make the plays. Yeah.
Other fans weren't laughing. At 56-0, many had had enough. But those who stuck around got something to cheer about.
This is UH football. It's Hawaii. You should be proud of them.
Just to spend time with friends and family and to support your home team, you know, it just says something about your state.
Breanne Randall, KHON 2 News.
The Warriors play here at home next weekend. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m.